I think I've found the most fruitful version of this deck. Let's give it a go.
For the light, for my daughter.
This ends now.
Relic of Extinction's normally pretty bad against Priest. But a lot better later on, so we'll probably toss it. We'll go with this. Kurtrus is always so good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Phantasms is probably the worst relic in this matchup, because a lot of his spells just do damage equal to its attack / health or whatever, so you don't get a lot of value out of it. So I'll probably use those to buff up the rest.
Were you followed?
Yeah, I guess that discovers like mage secrets, right? Gonna do this over the Vanguard because the Vanguard would die otherwise, so yeah. Switcheroo. I just love it when a plan comes together. It sucks that they're on curve, but next turn's probably Phantasms and attack. Pretty much regardless of what they do, they don't have great 4 plays to deal with the wide board.
I've got plenty of
Yeah.
mojo to
Hexen's annoying, but it's not good. Maze Guide's really good, but I think I want to
Vengeance is mine.
I think I just want to punch. Cycle the relics, get the relic of dimensions huge. Hopefully they hit my big stuff. And then we go for our hero. It's all pretty good. Kurtrus next turn. I would like to try to fit in another 1-drop. What the fuck? But that's so hard. Got the opening hand. I mean, the opening hand wasn't hard. Oh! No way. So we got what's in my hand. And then he failed. Oh, thank God.
How is it even possible?
He got real close though. That was scary.
I have given up.
So I don't really want to play Dimensions just in case it's a counter spell. Which, I mean, if I get to hit face, which it looks like I will get to do, I'll be able to test for Visage and Ice Barrier. It's okay. I mean, we probably test it right here, don't we? This is too good not to do. Yeah. Well. I mean, my hand's not great into this, so I think we're just going to do it this way and find answers. That's probably a good one. That's definitely a good one. That's also a good one, and that is okay.
Join me and fight!
Okay. And that's why that's in the deck. And our relics are pretty hyped up now as well. Only got one relic of extinction left in the deck, so
Rest easy, child. You are safe.
how many have I played? I played Phantasms, Extinction got canned, Relic, sorry, Dimensions. So they're doing 6. So this clears.
So the legends are true.
It's probably gonna be a Whirlpool, right? It's almost definitely gonna be a Whirlpool. So what do we do into a Whirlpool, right?
Can't go round.
Well, it's gonna kill that either way, so maybe we don't play it.
Fear my clay.
Obvious lethal push next turn. It'd be real nice if I had Denathrius for the finisher. That means he doesn't have Whirlpool. Behemoth? Oh boy. How close are we to lethal? Oh man. So 12, 19 plus 8 is 27, so I need 4 damage.
The answer is here.
I don't know if I have a way to get 4 damage. I mean, we can... fuck. Wait, does that do it? Because then that's more attacks.
Submit.
Wait, we're just gonna test this out on the fly, but I think it's good. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Fear my clay.
You really needed Whirlpool there.
It isn't over between us.
Like I said, the only thing is that I wish I had another 2 1-drops. But what those 1-drops would be... Oh, I know what they'd be. They'd be the dude that gave your opening hand, or whatever's in your hand, plus 1 health.
I see you brought guests.
Let's go Trog, because he has the coin, right?
Mine is mine.
The problem is, what do I fit in for that 1-drop? Maybe we drop Slither Spear just so we can drop the Phantasms. Sure. Denathrius opening hand is really good. Trog will delay his ramp, which is nice as well. He might still have that 4-drop that draws and ramps. That'll be a little bit annoying, but... Well, we've got all our rush dudes now, so... Wraith Scale Naga would be pretty nice if he drops anything. I think he's pretty pissed that he had to do that, to be honest. So it's coming up on that 4-drop, so I think I'm just going to play this on curve. Counter minion. Akani doesn't really get a lot of good value versus Druid. Against the other matchups, I've found it to be super good. Trying to stop like a Okay, he's just ramping. A Snowfall Guardian on 6, or even if they steal your Denathrius, and then you Akani the Akani the bloody Denathrius off him. But when these guys can go stupidly above yeah, we just played that. Stupidly above the mana curve, then it doesn't really matter what you do. Oh, that's nice. Especially nice that it got discounted. So unfortunately I had to get rid of Sinful Brand to make room for Naga. I just don't think they really... They've done very similar things, but Naga seems to be a lot more effective at it. Whereas Brand went face, Naga can help you get the board back, which is something that this deck has traditionally struggled against. And 3 damage is a really nice breakpoint as well, with all the imps and shit like that that's rocking around these days. Okay. One more turn on Xylag. I think we hold all this shit and just play Xylag on curve. Already chomped him down a fair bit. This might be a scale... Yeah, there's probably a Scales of Onyxia turn into Miracle Growth, if I had to guess. He's digging for it. Did he get it? It's crazy that he keeps Aquatic Form in his opening hand. Maybe he didn't keep it, but it's got the M there for Mulligan. Had it from the start. No, that's not too bad. Three, 4, yeah, that works nicely actually. I mean, we don't have to play the Wraith Scale, right? We might have just wasted that. Probably should just play it. Yeah, yeah, this was a misplay, this was a misplay. This is a hard board to beat though. Scales doesn't do very well into it. Yeah, I should just Xylag there. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I saw like one minion with a decent amount of HP and just went, ooh. But then I realized if the first run in just killed the minion, I'd be fucked. And I just wasted like my big burst. Ah. Okay, this guy's pissing me off. I keep wanting to nug a bit, like I should always just do this. Two turns away from Denathrius. Those are some really nice pings as well. This deck's pretty heavy on minions, I'm just realizing. Flipper friends. I mean, it helps you a little bit, I guess. Oh, don't grab Denathrius, can't. He got it. Fuck! Man. I fucking hate that card. Fuck you, dickhead. Another druid, eh?
It isn't over between us.
But a 1 into a 2. 49 strikes better later. That's a really good 3. Phantasm's actually really good into this matchup though, so... Oh, why would I? Why would I not play my little Naga? What's wrong with me? What's happening? Oh, it's so... Damn. Planted evidence is stupid. Alright, let's just play back on curve and we'll play Slither Spear on turn 4. So we'll play Phantasms into Slither Spear Merchant. That's the plan.
The sea floor be the sea floor be its own treasure.
Merchant's probably shit now.
The exit is this way.
My blood boils for war.
Okay.
All it takes is love, care, and death.
Oh, I wish I had one more mana. But, okay. Yeah, I think this is good enough.
Exotic wares and funnel cakes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Wow. Good. We should be able to maze guard into another merchant here, which is pretty nice. Oh, into Kurtrus? That's so good. Just not Doomsayer. What the fuck is... What's... Okay. I don't think I have any way to activate them. Ever. So, hot tip for young players out there, always put your merchants on the left hand side, because I think I've accidentally traded mine away at least 2 times by trying to drop it on the right edge. So, drop it left, play it safe, be smart. These two are actually like super problematic. Because I can't do anything about it. And they just take up space. Like a bad location. We obviously just get Kurtrus in face here. Are we... 2 with 0 attack, huh? Even just 1 attack would have been Nice. Yeah, and all these removals targeted, so I'm never actually gonna get a chance to fucking. This kind of sucks.
You gotta be scrappy with scraps.
It's probably a nourish. Oh! Kill the other one! Ah. Alright, this clears unless I'm really unlucky. Ah, I'm unlucky. Clear, please. Nice. Jeez. Yeah, I have to get something on the board, don't I? Those two evolutions really fucked me up. First time that's happened, and I've played so many games of this deck. Trying to think what would be my best draw here, and it's probably Relic of Dimensions. What's really? Okay. Okay.
Fear my glaive.
It's 4 mana, 5 attacks. That's probably equal to like 10 damage on board. That's both earthen scales.
You gotta be scrappy with scraps.
Relic of Dimensions, please. Or the Need for Greed. I've got so many. Oh. Surely he doesn't have... Look how much shit he's discovered off his core. Like growth, nourish, scale. Alright, let's play one. There we go. Probably should have attacked beforehand. Missed 2 damage. I don't think he has any cheap removal unless he's got another Park Panther. So I might just get away with leaving this on the board. Oh god. He's got one card that he's kept from turn 1 as well. Denathrius, I'm guessing. Vanguard's pretty nice draw.
Fear my glaive. Strike now.
Okay. Why don't you ramp into Miracle Growth? Yeah, Miracle Growth. And just let my Naga just go crazy. Just do it. That's awful. How many nature spells do you have in your hand right now, man? Too many. I need my card draw. And I need it like 3 turns ago, to be honest.
The Sea Lord be its own treasure.
Oh, come on. Well, I mean, I may as well use it while there's
Join me
no taunt, right? And try to get the biggest hero powers I can. It's got no more earthen scales, so... I think these two go face. You should be scared. Ah. Unfortunately, Coordinated Strike is only 8 damage worth of hero power. So we still need 1. So like a ram commander would be sick. It's pretty much just a ram commander. But if he drops a taunt, we're in a lot of trouble. That's not a taunt, so we do have our outs. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, he killed it. No fucking way. I don't think we have the mana though, if we get like a Need for Greed or a Dimensions. Holy shit. Oh, that's so disgusting. Oh, it's gonna feel so good. Ooh. Wait, do I have the mana? Oh, was I a cocky asshole for no reason? Oh no. What have I done? How much damage does he have on board? Wait, oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, I can't believe that wasn't an out. How many is that? Hang on. 10 plus, that's 18. Alright, let's do this. The dumbest interaction is that these count as whelps for Onyxia. That's fucking bullshit. Oh, there's the taunt. No. Xylag. We need Xylag. Or race scale. Oh. Come on. Don't let me get punished. Please. That was so stupid. I'm so bad at this game. Holy fuck. Oh. Alright, so I thought I'd take these couple of games as a chance to talk over the various iterations of the deck and what cards I tried, what cards I think might have potential, and what I ended up cutting and adding. So I think it's easiest to start with what I cut from the the original lineup, and why. So I cut Feast of Souls, 2 copies of it. It just found to be too hard to get it working, even when I added some RAM commanders for some extra tokens. Trading away my tokens like for cards just didn't feel like something I want to do. Trading them away for damage feels a lot better. So Feast of Souls, yeah, gone. The next one was Sinful Brand. So I cut it to a one of for quite a long period of time, and as a one of, it was doing pretty well. But when I eventually replaced it with Rayscale and Naga, which we'll go into later, it just didn't have a spot in the deck anymore. Next up, I took out a Relic Vault. I found that because you were using relics relatively early in the game, you weren't playing them with your Vault. And then by the time you drew your second Vault, you might only have 1 or 2 relics left in the game, and you don't necessarily have the 3 mana to play it. So out of all my games that went the distance, I'd say 80% of them ended up me having a Vault in my hand or a 1 or 2 charge on the board with no more relics to play with it. So I got rid of 1 copy. I still think having 1 copy in the deck is insane for some big swing turns. I just don't think a 2 of, even with the value it provides, is worthy of a spot. The last card that I got rid of from the original deck was the Urzel Giants. 2 of them. They just ended up being dead cards in hand until about maybe turn 7, 8 or 9 was when you'd get them online. And that's when you were kind of getting your other big swing turns. And so it was just a bit too slow, and it came into effect just a bit too late to be useful unless you had an absolute god draw. So they ended up getting replaced as well, which leads me into our next part of the talk as what did I add to this deck? So I guess we'll go into same order. So Feast of Souls, what did it get replaced with? It got replaced by an extra Need for Greed in the deck. So now there's 2 buy Need for Greeds. Next up after that, Sinful Brand. So it got cut for Wraithscale Naga. It just seems to do a better job, and something this deck has traditionally struggled at is regaining the board control. So having Naga that uses your tokens to clear the board just feels amazing. As you can see in these games, there's a couple of games where I lose complete board control. But because of Wraithscale Naga, I get it back in an instant and play a bunch of other cards with them. So it feels super good when you discount it, really good with the RAM commander, just works perfect. Can't believe I didn't try it earlier. Adding on to that, I guess, is the RAM commanders. For the exact same reason, they just they're just more ammo for the Wraithscale Naga to use, that you're not as reliant on Coordinated Strike, which is a lesson that I learnt early on when I still had Feast of Souls and Sinful Brand. The reliance on Coordinated Strike. So having more tokens just helps more, and it can fill a couple of those the mana gaps that you have on a couple of your turns. The last card that I added, which is the replacement for the Urzel Giants, is the Traveling Merchant. So this card makes a similar problem for your opponent, where you have a wide board, but now they also have to deal with a big body. So it might not quite be as big as the Giant. However, you put it into play so much earlier. A normal turn 3 play, or turn up to turn 3, would be a 1-drop into either a Maze Guide or a Battle-Worn Vanguard, and then you've got a board of about 3 to 4 minions, and that just makes, a 5-7-ish, maybe a 6-7 Traveling Merchant on 3, which is just insane, and a lot of decks just can't deal with it. And you can see the tempo swing of that and the amount of damage that gets poured into the enemy as they try to figure out how to rush out your tokens and still dealing with the merchant. It had the added benefit of being tradable, which kind of ties into the Feast of Souls cut as well. Because I dropped 2 Feast of Souls, but I only included 1 Need for Greed. And that's because the Traveling Merchants, if they're a dead card in hand, like Giant used to be sometimes, you can just trade them away. So it kind of fills the spot as well of card draw. And yeah, they just feel super good in the deck. It's probably one of the best cards, to be honest, in the deck. Next thing I thought I would go over would be the cards that I tried but just didn't work for the deck. So the first thing, funnily enough, was Prince Renethal. I thought this will be good to go. You know, a bigger deck, I can fit in all these greed cards and it's going to be great. The problem was that it just made the deck super unreliable and I couldn't hit the cards that I needed, such as Kurtrus, Artificer, Sire Denathrius. And it just slowed it down where druids and mages and shamans would just beat you in that end game. So you were going into their land with a weaker deck and just getting pumped was pretty much how it ended up working out. So I figured it's just not good. This is more of a rush down deck and you need to hit your stuff on time. Otherwise you're just going to get drowned out. So it just doesn't work. Next card I tried, I thought I'd be a little bit smart, you know, try out Kazakus the Golem Maker. Because we only have 1 4-drop, I thought this is perfect. It'll fix all the mid-game problems and we just have a great old deck. Issue is that it's just a terrible 4-drop. And the 5-drop you get with it, it's normally just not good enough on 5. Because if you have a weak 4 turn, you want to have a really good 5 turn. And you just didn't get that. I always just wanted to play Relic or Dimensions or something else, and the Golem just ended up being a dead card in hand. I just never got a turn to play it. So it just didn't really work out. And the other thing is that it replaces Akani, and Akani straight up just wins some matchups. Just countering certain things on certain turns. I can't really be too specific because it's so dependent on what class and deck they're playing, but super predictable play patterns of some of the decks, and you can just smash them out of the water with a simple Akani. So it's just not a replaceable card. The next thing I tried was to include Talon into the deck to try to fetch Sire Denathrius, and if I already had Sire Denathrius, then it would fetch Zymox and they can start their infusers. It worked not too bad, but in the end, it proved to be a similar thing to to Kazakus, where it was just a bit too slow and you just got tempoed out of the game. So 5 mana, 3/3 Divine Shield, it just doesn't quite hold up. You're better off playing tempo and then using Denathrius for what it is when you get it. So we took that back out. The next thing I tried was School Teachers on the 4-drops area, because I thought that might be able to pad out some of those mid-game issues with some of the really powerful low mana spells that Demon Hunter have. And if I didn't need the spells to clear the board and such like that, that I could use them to draw extra cards in the more controlling matchups. But again, it was just too slow. It stopped my tempo and aggression on board because it's more of a controlling card. So although I thought it'd be good, they just turned out shit. The last one that I tried that just didn't work was Kalathas and Bran. That kind of combo. I tried just one and then just the other and then the combination of both. And it's just too greedy. It doubles down on your endgame win condition, but if you get to your endgame win condition, you don't need Brand. Like, it's enough on its own. And what it ended up happening was making your early game weaker because you had 2 cards that were dead cards in hand. Admittedly, it did win maybe 10% of my games more than usual, just because I could play my Denathrius on turn 6, 7, or 8, and that got me out of a couple of tricky situations. But having them in the deck lost me more games than they won, so eventually they just got excluded. Moving on to a couple of cards that I think have potential, but just I've tried it and maybe there's room, maybe there's not, but I just haven't figured out the working way yet, is Field of Strife. Kind of like a mini Bloodlust. I don't really know why it doesn't work, but it just hasn't been. And I don't know what card you can cut from this list to fit it in. I think this list is very tight the way it is. And yeah. Next one's Theater. Super good. It stops their win con. But I think Akani becoming your win con fills more into this deck as an aggressive style rather than control. So as good as Theater is, just don't think it's good enough for, yeah, the deck. So talking about the deck in its completion at this current stage, I think it's in a really good spot. It feels super good. Obviously the win rate is really good. There is still some hesitation in me to say that this is the best version. Like I said previously, there's still some cards that may or may not have a spot in the deck. I'm going to rule that down to meta dependent. So with the current meta, I think this one works best. I think Mage is by far your worst matchup. And Hunters are probably your second worst. But it's a super fun deck, and no one's really playing anything like this. Everyone thinks Demon Hunters are just absolute dog shit trash. The only thing that's worse than them is Warriors. That's just simply not the case, as I've been demonstrating. You just have to really put in the time to make an archetype work. And the traditional ones just haven't been working for Demon Hunter, but like I said, if you haven't already, give this a go. It's super fun. It's relatively cheap, only 5 legendaries. One of them you get for free. The other 3 you probably already have. And then you just have to get Zymox. But I was incredibly impressed with Wraithscale Naga's performance over the duration of these games. Like I said, with all those other cards that I mentioned before that I tried and failed, I played maybe 5 to 10 games with each version of those decks with those cards. And I'd go like 0-7 or, 1 for 5 or something ridiculously bad like that. It just wasn't holding up in the current meta. So that's why this video didn't even start until I was 4-1, because I just stopped recording. But then I got to 4-1 and I was like, holy shit, like maybe this deck actually has something to it. Admittedly, there are a couple of games that go really down to the wire that I'm showing you. That maybe, a coin flip here or there could have resulted in a loss and a change of the stats. But all in all, I think the stats don't lie. I think this is the best current version of the deck. So there's also, I don't know if you saw that game earlier with the side Denathrius that I left up for like 4 turns, but there's also some massive misplays. So yeah, I would just strongly encourage anyone, if you feel like Demon Hunter's not worth your time, you're completely wrong. And if you want to play Demon Hunter like I do, I'm trying to get the Golden Hero, this is probably the deck to do it with. I think it's the best archetype. It does have a pretty steep learning curve because it is so different, and relics are so weird. Which ones are good for what matchups? When to go ham with your Nagas versus when to draw versus when to play big dudes. There's a lot to it, but if you stick it out, it's rewarding. It's a super fun deck, and that's why I've been putting in so many games, really trying to find the best iteration of it for you guys. So, yeah. Stick around, enjoy the next videos, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.